My name is Joy Kalali, and as you can see from the first page here, I'm the Interim Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Services. And I wanted an opportunity to speak with some applicants privately in a small venue like this, specifically talking about financial aid and financing your education. We like to start with an important quote, and this is from Nelson Mandela, that education is the most powerful weapon which you can choose to change the world. And that really does speak volumes as to who Metropolitan College is. I'm going to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about Metropolitan College. I'm sorry, I don't know specifically if you are very familiar with the school, so forgive me if I'm going to be repeating something that you already know. But we are a very unique college. We started more than 60 years ago, and our mission, which we take very, very seriously, is to provide a superior, experientially based education that fosters personal and professional development, promotes social justice, and encourages positive change in workplaces and communities. We are one of the few colleges in New York State that has social justice in our mission as one of our goals and objectives. Our history, it was that Metropolitan College was born out of the turbulence of the 60s. Audrey Cohen was an innovative educator at that time who believed that education was a key to social justice, and that to be truly an effective education, that it was education that laid in the uniting of the classroom with the professional world. Today, there are more than 12,000 active alumni who are making a positive impact on human services, education, business, and public administration through their constructive action projects. And just to clarify what constructive action means is every single semester that you are here at the school, whether you're an undergraduate or a graduate student, every semester there's a constructive action that students work on, and it is identifying a problem that exists either in their workplace, in their personal life, in an organization that they're involved in. They identify the problem, plan a solution, and then they implement it, and then they write about it, and they get college credit for that. Hundreds and hundreds of alumni who work already in New York City municipal agencies, government agencies, and community-based organizations have applied their constructive action projects to their actual work situation, and are part of making change, positive change in those organizations with an eye towards creating social justice. Now, I don't know, again, if you are a graduate applying for graduate programs or undergraduate programs, but I think it always is important to remind us that there is a return on investment when you invest in your college education. And so this is a grid that tells you the earnings, weekly earnings by degree and level of education. And also we compared that to the unemployment rate for people with doctoral degrees, professional degrees, master's degrees, bachelor's, associate degrees, some college but no degree, high school, and then less than a high school diploma. So just to remind you that the education not only fulfills your career dreams, but it also, the greater the education, the greater the salary that you'll earn. And so just to emphasize that one more time, this is the amount of money you can expect to earn in your lifetime based on the education level that you have. The average American works for 47 years before they retire. And the question would be, you know, how do I end up making $3, $4, $5 million in my lifetime? And the answer would be, you know, get a college degree for a field that you have a great love for, and you can pretty much guarantee yourself that level of income. The financial aid here at MCNY is a very sensitive group of people who are very caring and very interested in helping you finance your education. We have 4 types of aid. Need-based aid, which are grants that it's a gift that you're given as part of a tuition package. We offer our own institutional scholarships, which are both need-based and merit-based. We have work study, which is need-based, and we have student loans, in addition to the regular federal financial aid programs that you may be familiar with. So if you are an undergraduate student applying for financial aid and you are unemployed or low income, chances are you'd be eligible for federal Pell Grants, as supplemental educational opportunity grants, which is the second line there. We refer to that as SEOG. The New York State TAP grant, and TAP stands for Tuition Assistance Program, federal student loans. And what I've done here is I've listed the maximum amount of money that a person can get per semester if they were eligible for these grants, Pell Grants, our scholarship, New York State grant, and loans. And you can see the total of those, if you were eligible for the maximum amount given each semester, is $13,000, $13,362. The tuition is $10,040. That's tuition and fees. And so you'd get a refund from your student loans for $3,322. We would advise you not to borrow to only borrow what you needed for tuition, but it's important that you have enough money to help finance your transportation to school, your books that you need to get, and etc. So that's why the student loan will be available to you, and that total refund is available. So again, I don't know what your financial situation is. I don't know if you're unemployed or you're employed. These are based on your income levels of your household. The only way to find out what you're eligible for is to complete your FAFSA. And that's the free application for federal student aid. That's what FAFSA stands for. Later on in this presentation, you'll see where the link is for that. And you can fill out your FAFSA right now without even being admitted into school. There are 2, applying to college and finding out how much money, what your estimated family contribution would be to tuition, is a separate function from applying to college. So you can do that right now without having even applied to a college or being admitted into a college. We always urge people to fill those things out as soon as possible. If you're a graduate student applying for graduate or master's program, you're eligible to apply for the Graduate Plus student loan. That can cover the total cost of attendance. And the cost of attendance, of course, is your tuition fees, but also your living expenses if you have to. So there's a limit to what the cost of attendance is, but you can get the aid that you need to be able to live at home, or live in your home, have room and board, and your tuition covered. MCNY does offer graduate scholarships of $1,500 a semester, and we also have a MCNY recognition scholarship that is merit-based. Now, if anyone has any questions, you need to unmute yourself and just ask your question. I can see that you're all shy from not wanting us to see your video, which is fine, but just call out then. If you have a question, just call it out. Now, I want to give you a few fast facts about financial aid. When you take out a student loan, I want you to know that you can cancel it within 120 days of when the school dispersed the funds. The federal financial aid awards may be adjusted due to your special circumstances. So let's say today you have a job, you apply for financial aid to go to school in the next semester, and you were not eligible or not eligible for very much financial aid because your income was high, but then you lose your job. So at that point, you can reapply for financial aid and you would be eligible for it. So that's what that bullet point is is explaining. The third bullet point is if you are currently in default of a previous student loan, the financial aid counselors will assist you in rehabilitating your defaulted loan. You may not be able to start school as quickly as you'd like, but the rehabilitation of student loans usually takes about 3 months, where you, you fill out forms and you make some down payment, and you make, or rather, a monthly payment for a few months, and then you're able to begin to use the federal financial aid program again. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about repayment, just so that you know that when you do get a student loan, there are many ways to repay that loan. I know that the federal government is talking about forgiving loans, so until that actually happens, we want you to know that if you are, if you are unemployed at the moment, as soon as you graduate, if you're still unemployed, you can defer, the repayment of the loan. You can ask for a loan forbearance, which gives you 6 months before you have another 6 months before you have to start paying again. Like if you have a forbearance for, illness or relocation from one, for one job to another state for another job. And there is a loan forgiveness program. There is currently a loan forgiveness program that is something that you should always look into. And then if you work for a not-for-profit organization, there are other loan forgiveness programs that are specific for individuals who are working for a nonprofit organization, like you're a teacher at a school, or you work at a Head Start program, or you work for a college. We are nonprofit, or any nonprofit, frankly, any nonprofit organization. You are eligible for to be a part of a loan forgiveness program. So how to file your FAFSA. This is how you apply for federal grants, work study loans. You use the free application for federal student aid. As soon as you fill the FAFSA out, it will come to us in about 4 days. I'm going to advise you to please be very careful not to lose your password and your ID for your FAFSA, because it takes a long time for them to replace it. So whenever you start to fill out the FAFSA, you need to log in and create a password like we do on so many things. Please write it down in a very safe place so that you don't lose it. Next page is, these are the steps that you need to take these are the steps you need to take for filling out the FAFSA. You set up your student ID, and you can go to studentaid.gov/FSA ID. I'm going to email this PowerPoint presentation to you tomorrow so that you can have it as a reference, but nevertheless, I'm going to go through all the steps. Then you go to studentaid.gov to complete your FAFSA, and you can get to studentaid.gov off of our website on our financial aid page. When you are applying, when you fill out the FAFSA, after you fill out the FAFSA, you will also stay on the FAFSA, because at the end of the FAFSA application, they will ask you to start your New York State TAP application. So you're going to still do that on the studentaid.gov line. So TAP and Pell have different codes for MCNY, and we have listed the code for the Pell grant. And when I mail this out to you tomorrow, I will have listed the code for TAP. So I'm so sorry I left that off. I apologize. However, you can get the code off of our financial aid page on our website. Once you complete the FAFSA, as I said, we'll get it in 4 days. And the day that we get it is the day that we mail out your financial aid package. So we'll email you the financial aid package. Once you get that financial aid package, you're going to be directed to log on to a very brief explanation by the federal government as to what a student loan means. It's called student loan entrance counseling. So we want everybody to know what the student loan means and what the interest rate is and how you pay it back and what it means. And then once you complete the entrance counseling short survey, we have to listen to it and acknowledge that you read it. Then you're going to complete your master promissory note that allows you to actually allows you to actually borrow the money, and that's when the money will be sent to the school. And if there's anything left over from that, we refund it to you within 10 days. Kim, do you have another question?
Yes, I have. Was in reference to what specific nonprofits, you know, and is there any specific industry nonprofits?
Many of our graduates work at various nonprofits throughout the tri-state area.
Can it be your own nonprofit? Because I've recently started a nonprofit, so I'm just wondering.
Of course, there is no limit to or no criteria as to what type of nonprofit. So if you have a bona fide nonprofit organization and that's who you're working for, it doesn't matter that you started it. It wouldn't matter at all.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thalia, what is your question?
I was stuck in between a rock and a hard place, but I decided to go with emergency management due to my training with the police department as a specialized training instructor in areas of terrorism awareness, radiological, nuclear hazmats, things of that matter. And the other side is that my heart is with giving back to the community. So I did attend the session with the emergency management. So I had asked Mr. Chuck Frank if he could look in to see if I could take some classes from the human services component to incorporate into, as far as to give back to my community as well.
So there are a few electives in the emergency disaster management program. So you may be able to, you know, if there's any, for those electives, you'd be able to take human services courses. But, you know, you might also want to speak to a couple of people here, like the program director for human services, you know, that we have a case.
Oh, I attended that session as well. So I had to figure out where did I want to go, but I, with the department, that my passion was learning and then being able to teach the lesson and engage with my colleagues. And that's where I see the whole teaching, the public speaking and giving back to community. And so Mr. Frank said that he would look into the electives to see what could be swapped out if necessary. Oh,
great. He is very attentive. We also, his program is all online, his master's, and we also have an in-classroom program also. So, and the in-classroom program is hybrid, meaning that it's half of it is in the classroom and the other half of it is online. Yeah. So a lot of people prefer the hybrid version because you get to meet and have a more cohesive experience with students that you're working with in the classroom. So you may think of that as well.
And I think it will definitely help because since I've been retired, I also help manage a 13-unit condominium building. So my hands be full sometimes. So to be able to take classes from home, but then also be able to attend a class in person, that will help break up a lot of, stuff.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of us are a little tired staying home.
Yes.
I know. I'm a little tired myself. I hate the commute, but I love coming to work,
Yes.
Oh gosh. And thank you for your service, Talia.
Thank you so much for answering the questions. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Staying home for me is no way.
So Joshua, I see that your hand is up. Is that right? Would you like to ask a question?
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so I just to recap. So you stated that regarding the student loans, we'll be able to meet with a financial aid advisor just to be advised on which loans will be best for our education and will be able to be used towards our tuition.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, you can go on our website and you go onto the financial aid page, you know, and then it says schedule an appointment, and you just click on that and schedule, you know, a phone conversation or a Zoom conversation with one of the counselors. Do that tomorrow, and you know, he'll be able to help you out and answer any question that you have. Joshua, which program are you thinking of applying for?
Already applied for program management.
Project management?
Yes.
Oh,
Or
that's
yes.
great. Great.
Yes.
Great, wonderful program. Very, very popular. Very good. Get a lot of credentials from that program. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So the steps for graduate students is on the slide that we're on right now. Let me go through that pretty quickly. I mean, you, as graduate students, you probably are very familiar with financial aid. But here are the steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to set up your F.A.F.S.A. -ID, right? So it's a little different from when you did a financial aid form maybe a few years ago. Again, I'll emphasize, please be careful not to misplace your password and your user ID because it just takes the feds forever to replace that for you. You're going to complete the FAFSA for your student loans, and our code for the FAFSA is listed here. Your third is that you do have to go through the entrance counseling, even if you've had student loans as an undergrad. You do have to do the entrance counseling as a graduate student, and then once it all gets done, you will be sent an email with a link to go on and literally sign the master promissory note. I'm going to move on. So just so that you know, we have a campus in Manhattan, we have a campus in the Bronx. I don't know where you all live, but both of them are available. We have sometimes students take classes. Sometimes students live in the Bronx and then they'll take 1 or 2 classes there. And then they want to come down to the Wall Street campus because it's just nice to be in Wall Street. This is the Bronx campus, picture of the Bronx campus. For those you've already, I think you all have already applied. Rashad Vic, I don't know if you've applied or not, but these are the 3 schools that we have. Audrey Cohen School for Human Services and Education. You can see the programs that we have there. School for Business, you see the programs we have there. And then the School for Public Affairs and Administration, which is where our MPA program is, our Emergency Management and Business Continuity, which is a bachelor's degree, and then the Emergency Disaster Management program itself, which is an MPA program. One of the hallmarks of our school is that your master's degree can be earned in 1 year. We are unique in that we have 3 full semesters a year. So most colleges have just the fall and spring semester, and then they'll have you know, courses that people take as a non-matric, or a student might repeat a course that they, you know, need to repeat. But basically, it's not considered a full semester. You can't get financial aid for them. But here at Metropolitan College, we have 3 semesters each year. And so your graduate degree is 15 credits a semester. And you're going to do that in the summer, fall, and spring. And then you'll graduate. If you start in the summer, you will graduate at the end of May 2023 with your master's degree. And there is full financial aid available in the summer as well, of course, in the fall and the spring. So, and if anyone is interested in the undergraduate program or knows someone who is interested, the undergraduate programs work the same way. So it's 3 semesters a year. So although it's an 8-semester program, just like every college, 8 semesters at a regular college takes 4 years. Here, our 8 semesters are done in 2 years and 8 months. So it's, again, summer, fall, spring, summer, fall, spring, and then just summer and fall. Most of our classes are hybrid, which is meaning that they'll meet once a week and then twice a week online. For undergraduates, we have a very generous transfer credit policy. And we also have what's called a prior learning assessment, PLA. You can earn academic credit for relevant work and life experience. What you do in those situations is you identify a course that you're required to take, or it's a part of your program, and you say, oh wait, this is exactly what I've been doing in my job for the last 3 years, and you work with an advisor in the advising department and your program director to come up with a portfolio and a paper that explains all of the various things that you've done that tell us that yes, you know this syllabus very well, and then you get 3 credits for it. So it's called prior learning assessment, and schools have been doing this for 50 years, but now it's becoming a very popular benefit or feature to offer at a college. Most of our graduate programs require an internship or field placement. And then the Office of Career Services will assist a student in getting an internship or a field placement. So, for example, the MPA program has a required field placement. So does the Emergency Disaster Management program. Rashid, you have a question about part-time and full-time study?
This is my first time, but I would like to know how many classes do I have to take each section?
It's 5.
It's 5 classes. Okay.
It's 4 or 5, depending on the semester.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
So is that so it is a full-time program in that regard. Is that something that you can work with right now?
Yes, I can.
Good for you, Rashad. Good for you. Are you a transfer student, or is this the first time you're going to college?
This is gonna be the first time I go to college.
Congratulations. What a great step
Thank
you're
you.
taking for your life. You must be excited.
Thank you. I'm very excited. Nervous at the same time, but excited.
Oh, yeah, you will do great. I mean,
Thank you.
There's so many people here who are going to help you through this, and we're excited for you. So
Yes, I can
congratulations.
see. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Professional development and networking. I cannot emphasize enough the success of our graduates. And we measure that by how much they are still involved with the school. So we have more than 12,000 active members of the Alumni Association, and they network with each other, and they are available to us as tutors, volunteers. They do webinars, they'll speak in panel discussions about their experience working in many of New York City's agencies, government agencies, state agencies, HBO, community-based organizations, other nonprofits. So we are very proud of the fact that our alumni have been running New York City offices for a really long time, and they are available to help you. We have partnerships. So we have our own alumni association, and there's the National Association of African Americans in Human Resources. There's a money management organization. There's the Institute of the Black MBA, and we have Toastmasters on campus to get people to practice their public speaking. These are 2 of our alum, and a lot of our alum have wonderful things to say about us, but we picked these 2. This is from Christiana Tudor. She's an award-winning health and science storyteller, and her degree, her terminal degree is from biology and life sciences and medicine in neuroscience at Harvard. She says, "I'm so grateful for the incredible honor to have studied at Metropolitan College of New York. It is a beautiful experience that prepared me for the career I am embracing. MCNY, keep doing what you're doing." And then Guivian Zumbado, who has his PhD, he says, Metropolitan College of New York is my graduate alma mater and a place where dreams are created and reinvented. The leadership shown by faculty and the student body alike make MCNY an excellent choice to pursue academic advancement. I am especially proud to belong and share the experiences of my fellow women, Black, and minority alumni who have paved the way for future generations to be successful and break glass ceilings. And these are just some examples of some of the job titles that our alumni have: office manager, project coordinator, social media manager, activity specialist, college advisor, all the way to deputy borough president, vice president, community affairs. One of our alum is now a part of the new mayor's cabinet and is running the Department of Health and the housing unit at for New York City. That's a big job. And then these are names of companies that our alumni are working in, and obviously it's just a sample. But some of the names I'm sure that you will appreciate and recognize. So all the way from Administration for Children's Services, where many of our human service degree holders go there, to the BRONX District Attorney's Office, to the Homeless Prevention Administration, Human Resources Administration, IBM, Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Volunteers of America. The list goes on and on. We have New York City Police Department alum, and Office of the Mayor, offices of the Brooklyn, Manhattan Borough Presidents. So we're very proud of where our alumni work. So this is the phone number and the addresses of our admissions office. These are some helpful links: how to start your application, your financial aid application, your F.A.F.S.A, program details that we have about the various different academic programs, and up and coming events. And here's a picture of students who at graduation, very happy faces. And I hope to see your faces there one day.